Hello, good evening, and welcome to Business here on Joy News Prime with me, Beverly Broom. To our very first story, the Attorney General, Ghana Revenue Authority, and the Speaker of Parliament has been dragged to the Supreme Court over imposition of taxes on imported sanitary pads. Legal Affairs correspondent Joseph Akable joins me on phone with more. Joseph, thank you so much for your time. Bring us to speed. Who is the plaintiff and what are the details of the writ?
And so this is a case that has been filed by a legal practitioner, James Afedo. He filed it, and his foundation, the James Afedo Foundation, is also listed as a plaintiff in this particular action that has been filed against the Attorney General, the Commissioner General, Ghana Revenue Authority, as well as the Speaker of Parliament. And the main issue that he raises is the fact that Parliament imposed a 20% excise duty on menstrual hygiene products, including sanitary pads, sanitary towels, menstrual cups, and tampons, which we believe is unconstitutional, null and void. And so it's sued these three individuals, if I can put it that way, at the Supreme Court, and asking the court to declare that the imposition of this tax is unconstitutional. It's asking for the following relief. One is an order directed at the first and second defendants to pay interest on the said refund. That is, to refund all the amounts that they've obtained from the taxes since the taxes were implemented. They should pay it into a menstrual justice trust fund to be established and managed by the Menstrual Health Coalition. It's also asking for an order directed at the first and second defendants to pay interest on the said refund sum at the commercial bank lending rate from the date of effectiveness of the taxes until the date of final payment. He's also asking for an injunction to restrain the defendants from further collecting the 20% excise duty and 17% value-added tax, and an order of prohibition perpetually preventing the defendants from proposing, discussing, considering, and imposing any sexually discriminatory tax on menstrual hygiene-related products. And so this is the case that is filed against the AGGRA and the Speaker of Parliament. And we know that quite recently the Speaker of Parliament has been commenting on this particular issue, saying that he feels that it was not right for Parliament to have imposed such taxes.
But Joseph, do you think this would affect any change, and do you think this will cause the tax to be scrapped?
And so at this point in time, the first thing will be that once it's been filed, the various defendants, i.e. the Attorney General, the Ghana Revenue Authority, and the Speaker of Parliament will have to enter appearances. One of the reliefs they are seeking is an interim measure, i.e. even before the court deals with the substantive matter, it should restrain them from proceeding to implement this tax. And so it will depend on the force of the arguments that will be marshaled at the Supreme Court once it deals with the matter, and whether it will grant that injunction before we can see a halt to the current status quo. So that will be a matter that will be dealt with once all the parties are present in court and make their case before the court.
Do you have an idea when they are expected in court?
We do not know at this stage. The reason is that once such an action is filed, the various parties, they have about 14 days to enter an appearance and even then proceed to file their statement of defense. And afterwards, the court will now fix a date for hearing proper.
Thank you so much, Joseph Akable, our legal correspondent here at Joy News, and we'll definitely be following that development and update you subsequently. Moving on, individuals and businesses are being urged to brace themselves for a planned load shedding exercise as independent producers prepare to cut power supply to the Electricity Company of Ghana beginning Saturday, July 1, over debt owed them. The IPPs had earlier informed government about their intention to cut power supply to the ECG if it fails to pay 30% of the about $2 billion debt owed them by July 1. It is, however, unclear what government's line of action will be in ensuring a reliable and stable power supply as the deadline approaches. However, speaking to Joy Business on this development, Executive Director of the Institute of Energy Security, Nana Amuisi II, said businesses have no option than to make adjustments and plan ahead before ECG comes up with a load shedding timetable.
We expect them to get a backup ready and also to ensure that their generators are filled to the brim in terms of fuel, because we're getting also the indication of fuel shortages in town because of these tanker drivers refusing to work for reason of bad roads. And so get ready your, standby generators filled, and so you can rely on that. Also, you can also plan your processing arrangements if you're a factory, so to make sure that you follow the load shedding timetable if ECG is forced to put at 1. What is supposed to happen, or what can happen, is what we are seeing now. The IPPs, all of them, have issued a 0 nomination to GRIPCO, the transmitter. That's what has happened, declaring unavailability by Saturday. What could happen again is government can forestall this between now and close of Friday, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Government can have it.
Moving on, banking consultant Nana Otuo Champon has indicated that the Bank of Ghana's decision to suspend the forex licenses of Fidelity Bank and First National Bank will have far-reaching implications on the two banks. The two banks were suspended for failing to strictly adhere to the applicable forex market regulations and guidelines. Nana Otuo Champon spoke earlier on the marketplace.
It's something that I think shouldn't have happened, but they assume, as I said, that, for instance, you are supposed to update your file every 30 minutes. And their understanding was that the update should happen if there is a change. Because every 30 minutes, you have to update. And as I said, if the exchange rate is 10 to 1 at 12 noon, at 12:30, if it's still 10 to 1, you need to change according to the rule. But they erroneously felt that once there has not been a change and it's still 10 to 1, then you could leave it there. So clarity has been made. I mean, the punishment, in my opinion, is far-reaching. But they have to get partner banks to operate those, because it means they cannot, operate those forex issues. Everything has got to be done by another licensed bank. Well, then both of them may be in negotiations with their partner banks to handle that on a temporary basis. But my hope is that it won't last as much as 30 days, and that it will be short-circuited. There are other developments which we can discuss now, maybe in another conversation we can discuss. But for now, that is what is happening.
Now to agriculture, as the phase 2 of government's agri flagship program, Planting for Food and Jobs, will be launched next week. According to Deputy Agri Minister Yaw Frimpong Addo, the second chapter will focus on upscaling production of 11 crops and livestock as input credit. He disclosed this at the KFW Agra Phase 1 project learning event.
The Planting for Food and Jobs program was implemented in 2017 to modernize the agri sector, improve food security, create jobs, and reduce poverty. In May 2023, subsidy on fertilizer and seeds under the program was suspended. Speaking at the KFW Agra Phase 1 project learning event, Deputy Agri Minister Yaw Frimpong Addo revealed that the PFJ Chapter 2 will be launched soon with some adjustments.
Let me emphasize that this project also coincided with government's flagship program, the Planting for Food and Jobs, which had in focus agriculture development as the indispensable engine for growth and development of the entire country. The ministry looks forward to the development of a phase 2 of this project, with lessons learned from the phase 1 to form the basis, and each partner is playing its role to ensure the full attainment of the project objectives. And I wish to add that in the coming week or so, we are going to officially launch the PFJ Phase 2. The PFJ Chapter 2, as it has been christened, is going to ensure that we accelerate production of our 11 selected crops and poultry.
KfW, the German Development Bank, through its Phase 1 project, which is supervised by AGRA, has invested 3.5 million euros in the past 4 years. Bashiru Musa is program officer at AGRA.
In the scheme of things, so far as the two projects are concerned, KfW invested almost about 3.5 million euros in the two consortia, within a span of 4 years to look at project implementation at the grassroots level. Now, the first one, which we call the Public-Private Partnership for Competitive and Inclusive Rice Value Chain, happened between 2018 and 2023, and the status is that it's currently closed. The second part is the Ghana Cassava Industrialization Partnership Project, which was also implemented just around the same time.
Program manager for KfW Ghana Mission, Ata Ejapon, explained the importance of the project to his outfit.
Why are we involved in this project? And our desire at that time was to focus on how we address causes of structural hunger and food insecurity. And what do I mean? Food insecurity, hidden hunger, malnutrition, among others. And again, also make sure that we promote rural development to create opportunities to escape poverty. And then also support systems that enhances sustainable production and consumption, financing, and also preserving the environment.
The KfW AGRA Phase 1 projects ran from 2018 to 2022.
Now, the United States government, through the U.S. Agency for International Development and the United Nations World Food Programme, is embarking on a one-year program to provide vital support to farmers during the lean season in Ghana. Valued at $7 million, the newly launched farmer support activity aims to bolster food security. That's more in this report.
The farmer support activity looks to cushion and build the capacity of farmers, especially those in the northern parts of Ghana. A total of 17,000 farming households in 17 districts in the northern, northeast, upper east, and Upper West regions will receive 3,500 cedis each. Kimberly Rosen is mission director at USAID.
To ensure accessibility and convenience, small-scale farmers will directly receive the cash transfers into their mobile money accounts. This method allows them to easily access the funds in an efficient manner. The cash transfers provided through this program serve as a flexible tool that the farmers can utilize to address their most urgent needs. This flexibility empowers farmers to invest in their farms, purchase necessary inputs, cover labor costs, or attend to other important requirements. It is important to note that this program is part of our broader commitment to support Ghana's agricultural sector.
Through a multi-sectoral initiative that includes the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, the National Identification Authority, and MTN, the World Food Programme has identified, targeted, and registered vulnerable smallholder farmers. According to WFP representative and country director Barbara Clemens, this is to ensure that these farmers do not compromise on quality and quantity.
This, especially going into this lean season, seeks to identify them, assist them so that they are not consuming some of their inputs or making negative coping choices in terms of I'll cultivate less land or I'll buy less food for my household. We want to make sure that we're there when the assistance is needed and is given to the right person so that they can increase their productivity. And that really is the point of this.
Deputy Agric Minister Yaw Frimpong Adu urged the farmers to be prudent with their investment.
There are several other households who were not lucky to have been part of this program. So those of you who have been selected, I will call the lucky ones. You need to prove to the donors, our development partners, that this money is not for your pocket or your purse or your wallet. It is for productivity. And just as they said, you observe the strong team here. The M&E team is so strong with those people with financial background, they are going to monitor you from penny to penny. And if you don't account for it, you may be in trouble. We cannot shield you because we want you to use the money to deliver what you have to deliver.
The farmer support activity will run till March 2024.
Away from agriculture, and Chief Executive Officer of the Petroleum Commission, Egbert Fabel Jr., is calling on academic institutions to tailor the curricula to prepare graduates for the job market. According to him, most companies prefer to employ expatriates rather than Ghanaians because the locals are unable to match their qualification with skills on the field. Mr. Fabel spoke at the maiden edition of the Upstream Job Role Localization Conference.
The Petroleum Commission disclosed that it invested 4 million cedis in 150 graduates to build their capacity to be better suited for the job market. Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Egbert Fabel Jr., urged companies to emulate his outfit by providing learning opportunities for graduates and called on educational institutions to practicalize courses.
Much as it's now a global village and so you get expatriates coming in, the truth and the stark reality is that for each expatriate you see working in the office in Ghana, let us know that the cost of bringing the expatriates, living here, working here, is passed on to Ghana when crude liftings are being done. So what do we do? Much as we want to work with our international partners, we need to deliberately train our own people so that over a period of time, they will take over the expatriate roles.
Meanwhile, Deputy Energy Minister Herbert Cropper disclosed that plans are underway to implement the human resource localization policy to make graduates employable.
We will continue to implement the accelerated oil and gas capacity building program. We will ensure the utilization of local expertise in the procurement of local goods and services. And we will establish a National Petroleum Technology Institute to develop Ghanaian technological research capability for the petroleum industry. The Petroleum Commission deserves all our congratulations for the proactiveness to work with the Ministry of Energy to develop a policy on localization. And I can assure you, on behalf of my minister, of the ministry's fullest support for the implementation of this all-important policy so that it sees the light of day.
The Petroleum Commission oversees the accelerated oil and gas capacity building program aimed at training youth in the upstream sector. Elizabeth Sam is the beneficiary.
Right now I have a job because of the internship program which led me to my employer, and I must say it has been a really wonderful experience because the company I went to, Halliburton, actually took the program really serious, helped me go through their various product service lines, and even as an employee with them now, I've got an opportunity to travel outside the country to a few countries to work, and I've met great people through work, different cultures, and seen a lot of things out there which sort of just opens you up for the possibilities you have as an individual and as an African. So I would not trade this opportunity for anything.
The 2023 Upstream Job Role Localization Conference was themed Utilizing Trained Ghanaian Technicians to Achieve Job Role Localization in the Petroleum Upstream Sector.
Now, the government has reiterated its commitment to shift to less carbon-generating sources of energy, breaking away from fossil fuel in the long term. There's more in this report.
The Energy Transition Framework seeks to scale up renewable energy penetration by 10% by 2030. A Deputy Minister of Energy, Andrew Japames, says the country is beginning to feel the impact of climate change. He spoke at the media launch and opening of nominations for this year's Ghana Energy Awards.
Government's vision for a just and equitable transition framework is a bold one that aspires to discharge our international obligations in the matter of climate change and a move away from fossil fuel use. But it is also a framework that recognizes the importance of our natural resources and our determination to ensure that these are not stranded and that the transition happens on our terms and nothing else. As a ministry, we are committed to collaborating with our sector agencies and other relevant stakeholders to ensure that our goals are aligned as we pursue the conversation on the future of our energy sector and ultimately our national industrialization agenda. Together, there's so much we can achieve for our beloved country.
The 7th Ghana Energy Awards is on the theme Ghana's Energy Transition Framework, Sector Institutions as Building Blocks for the 2030-2040 Targets. Speaking of the theme, Event Director Henry Taino says the award scheme seeks to advance the energy sector development and transformation.
The Ghana Energy Awards is more than just an award scheme. It is a mission and a vision and a movement. It is a platform for showcasing the best of the Ghana's energy sector and advancing its development and transformation. It is an opportunity for us to say thank you all to who are making the difference in the sector every day. We are very, very delighted for the 7th year of this great award scheme. It's a testament to the great things that we've done over the years, the inputs that we've taken from the industry over the years, and what has made us become the champions of the industry. As our immediate past awarding chairman will refer to as the maker of the industry.
Nomination for this year's Energy Sector Awards closes on September 2023.
Now, the Ghana-UK Chamber of Commerce has hinted at more foreign direct investment into various sectors of Ghana's economy. According to Executive Director at the Chamber, Ajoba Chema, Ghana's economy is responding positively and more investors are willing to draw in to support the economy. He spoke to Joy Business at the 2023 edition of the Royal Ascot Ladies' Day experience to raise funds for the University of Ghana Medical Center.
The Royal Ascot is one of Britain's most well-known race courses, held on a special week of races in June each year. The events offer business networking opportunity with UK GCC member companies and other stakeholders. Executive Director of the Chamber maintained its members are exploring various opportunities for its investment.
You know that business relations between the UK and Ghana go back over a century. And so the same way Ghanaian businesses are interested in doing business in the UK businesses are always also interested in doing business in Ghana. So yes, we can expect that the UK businesses that will be investing in Ghana will either be in trading businesses or would look to be setting up similar to what we already have.
On her part, a member from the Clinical Research Department of the University of Ghana Medical Center, Dr. Gifty Mediama, described the move as a worthy cause to support Ghana's health sector.
This will go a long way to help us establish and then achieve our goal of establishing the clinical trials to help Ghana and the sub-region as a whole. They have taken over. They did it last year and they are doing it this year. We are very grateful for their partnership and we encourage everybody to come on board and support. It's a worthy cause.
Chief of Staff to the CEO of Sukasa Properties, Isaac Kwekubuatin, reiterated commitment to support the initiative.
As a member, we believe that whatever event or programs that the organization is either fronting or being a part, it's important that we come on board to support. And so that's the main reason why we came on board to be the main or the headline sponsors for this particular event.
This is the second edition of the Royal Ascot Ladies' Day experience to raise funds for the University of Ghana Medical Center.
And that's all for Business Tonight. We have more business news when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. I'm Beverly Broom.